Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome to the showdown between the Tomb Kings led by Ark in the Black and the Warriors of Chaos who are going to be led by Archeon the Always Chosen. So without further ado, let's jump right into this match and have some fun. So guys, we are here with a bit of an Ark Ek build. You can see we do have a front line of the Skeleton Archer Chariots. And if you're going to go with Chariots with the Tomb Kings, just get the Archer variant. I think they only cost like 100, 150 more. They have the exact same melee stats, and they also do have Archers on the back, which can do some okay damage against like Shaggoths and Forsaken. And I mean, honestly, just the volume of fire coming from them isn't bad, and they do have a high model count as far as Chariots go, so I really just would recommend getting these Skeleton Archer Chariots. But we have 3 groups of these. We're going to be trying to run through the Chaos Infantry, getting some kills on the Chaos Warriors, on the Great Weapons, and just pretty much anything we can catch. Yes, my opponent does have halberds here, but if they are not braced, I should be able to get in and potentially do some damage. We'll find out. I don't know. We'll see if Ark and Ek can do it. As far as our leadership goes, this is a very, very powerful composition against Chaos. You get Ark in the Black with Spirit Leech. That's the more important thing there. And then you join him with 2 Tomb Princes. So if they're coming in with like Kolek or Shaggoths, you're able to have a ton of armor-piercing anti-large plus Spirit Leech on top of that. And if it becomes like a very heavy duelist situation, Ark in the Black can simply pop the Liber Mortis to give physical resist. And man, it can become really tough for those Shaggoths if you can catch them in open field. So that's pretty much it for our frontal line here in the main infantry corps. 3 Skeleton Warriors going very, very limp because, again, the Chariots are going to be doing most of the work potentially. Skeleton Warriors. We do have a Bone Giant. So the one Bone Giant, I figure that most of the fighting is going to be over here with the Chariots, and I will advance my Skeletons. So the Bone Giant's just going to sit back and just shoot at Shaggoths. You can see my opponent does have some pretty good micro here. He's doing the moves like Jagger and just kind of side strafing and dodging me. So my first shot there, unfortunately, is a miss. We do have 1 Khemrian War Sphinx just in case my Chariots aren't able to pull the load against the Marauders and the Chosen and different stuff like that. I wanted to have a heavy construct right here who could potentially run in, do some armor piercing and, finish off the elite infantry. In the back, we got the King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion. So these guys are going to be the sole defender of the Bone Giant. So if a Shaggoth runs back there, King Nikesh's plus a Bone Giant should be able to beat a Shaggoth, I think. So that's pretty much it for my army. For my opponent, double Shaggoth. So he has some really good tools for constructs. And if he's able to pin my Chariots with these Shaggoths, man, that is going to be really bad. So it's going to take some maneuvering and kind of evasive tactics here to get away from those guys. So a little bit worried about that. For the main line, Chaos Warriors, and I definitely think against Tomb King's infantry, you just go with the sword and board infantry because the higher melee defense, and you don't really need AP in the front line against the infantry, and he obviously has his anti-monster and the Shaggoths and throwing axes and stuff. He's got Archeon with the Flaming Sword of Ruin, Marauder Horseman and throwing axes. He does have a couple Chosen with halberds, which are also a very good pick in this matchup, and 1 group of Chosen with Great Weapons, so a little bit of diversity here, but we'll see how it goes. So immediately the Chariots not wanting any of that, just going to be pulling back, and what I'm going to do is pull the Chariots back and across. I'm hoping to pull the Shaggoths this way, so then I can turn around with the Tomb Princes and fight him. So you can see I'm going to be running. Shaggoths coming in hot. They might even be able to kill a Chariot here. Hopefully not. Oh, the first one is a bit of a hit, but I do Spirit Leech him with exactly what I'm talking about. Get 2 counter charges here. You can see the Bone Giant is still shooting at the Dragon over here. But look at the damage that Shaggoth has taken. He is getting taken to Pound Town, so I'm pretty happy with this. And the Archers aren't hurting either. I mean, it's a little bit of damage coming in. Can't complain. But now it is time for, and that's also another really good thing about Archeon. Is the staff. So as they're advancing, I can buy more time for my Bone Giant, my Chariots by summoning some Skeletons. Just be like, here, fight these guys, have fun. So the Bone Giant does make contact there. The Chariots, Ark and Ek is coming in here. And they get a nice little charge. It looks like the second and third group not as good. Yeah, still getting some damage. So we charge through those Chosen. And as far as HP damage, not a whole lot. But again, against Chosen, everything counts. In the back, my opponent decides to go balls deep for the Bone Giant, because he couldn't really peel back to his army simply because my princes were blocking him and he had to run the other direction. So I figured he's probably thinking he's going to go all in here. But you can see the Tomb Prince as well as Archeon is going to take him to town. The Bone Giant, of course, not a pushover in melee, so not a bad engagement there. Chariots, in the meantime, I'm just kind of running and reforming ranks here. And the Chariots also have counterfire against the Marauder Horsemen with their bows, which is pretty funny. So just pulling back, trying to get away from the halberds, and they're not braced now, so I'm just going to charge back in. And you can see the hordes of the Tomb King's Chariots are just going in and running over these filthy Chaos Warriors. But I am losing Chariots against the halberds, but it's still causing a lot of disruption in the front line, which I'm quite happy about. My opponent is going to be chasing my Khemrian War Sphinx with the Dragon Ogre, so as soon as he does that, I get the double Tomb Princes and the Bone Giant, and I'm just trying to goon out his anti-large here. You can see his other Shaggoth does rally, unfortunately, but Beta Buna going down to the back on the Chosen with halberds, but that pretty much takes all my wins of magic, but I still think it's worth it. Granted, I don't know, the Spirit Leech might have been better against the Dragon Ogre, but the Chariots coming in, slamming into these Chaos Warriors who obviously don't have the charge defense. That's pretty good here. I do drop the Libra Mortis in this area to give myself 44% physical resist. So if you're doing like a cav charge or a chariot charge, always try and time that Libra Mortis for when everything's going to be blobbed up and get some pretty good value there. So Staff him to Gash, another great item there, lowering my cooldowns. I get another Spirit Leech on the Dragon Ogre, and he's pretty much done for. Archaon did try and get back on the Bone Giant, did some damage, but the King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion are an extremely annoying sticky unit. They do have poison and anti-large, so they're able to fend him off here. Balance bar is pretty even. The Chariots coming in, just sweeping in through these infantry with the Khemrian War Sphinx. And the Realm of Souls, I believe, does heal the Chariots because they're not constructs. They are they're proud skeleton people. So they're going to be pulling out through the back here. You can see the Marauder Horsemen are still getting some decent throwing axes, picking off a couple of my Chariots. As far as their overall health, we got 9, we got 7, and 6. So a little bit of durability loss on those guys. But my Skeleton Warriors that I held in reserve are now engaging. But the big thing is we're able to take down the Shagga. So the 2 Tomb Princes plus not Kolek here, but Ark in the Black. Ark in the Black is not Kolek. They're nowhere in the same realm of existence. But Ark in the Black here is doing pretty good. The Bone Giant with some MLG sniping right there, able to put him down to -20 leadership. Archaon's coming back in, pops a Flaming Sword of Ruin for his Chosen, making them pretty scary. So the Chosen, you could see their inexorable advance just crushing my Skeleton Warriors. My opponent's just Gangster Chaos Infantry, which are such a cool unit. But the Khemrian War Sphinx took some damage. My Chariots are pretty beat up. The 2 Tomb Princes are now chasing Archaon, but if he decides to turn and fight, he should be able to kill at least one of them. But I think with Ark in the Black there, it's risky, but he does charge and gets a great charge on Ark in the Black and does a bunch of damage. But that's a 3v1. That is a lot of money being spent there, but even still, Ark in the Black takes a lot of damage. Archaon is a beast. He does pop the Foe Seeker, and I might have to retreat here. You can see my Shopti summon is going to go down, and the Tomb King's Curse from Arkan because he gets dropped below half-life. So man, Archaon just laying a whooping on him. And as soon as my opponent does damage Arkan, he actually pulls back and runs back into the fight. So good stuff from him with that timing there, making sure to be cost-efficient and not like sit there and just fight my Tomb Princes. So over here, the Chariots are able to kind of get some good damage on the Chosen. Still not doing a ton of damage, but I mean, they're kind of grinding my opponent down. My Summon Shopti here are going to be fighting some of these Chaos Warriors, which is a good engagement for them. Granted, the Shopti might actually disappear before they're able to kill him. Bone Giant, still just using him. Not the most accurate from this distance, but we're trying our best to get rid of the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, make sure he stays off the battlefield. And this is kind of the fight of fights. The Chosen with Halberds with Stand Your Ground, Perpetual Flaming Sword of Ruin. And we're trying our best to win this fight. The Chosen are, as far as leadership, they're steady, but they're very low on HP. Khemrian War Sphinx over here is doing a pretty good job, but man, these Chosen are not wavering at all. So anytime you're in a very close battle and, you know, it's something that could teeter back in your opponent's favor, just look around the battlefield and look for units that are, like, still healthy but are also retreating, and try and pick them off if you have the mobility advantage. It makes a huge, huge difference in the end here. Right here, you can see the Ushopti are still fighting, but Archaon plus the throwing axes are able to melt those guys. Just trying to find a target for Arkan Ek here. He's going to be going in with his Cetra Chariots. The Skeleton Chariots. They're going to be going in, charging into those Chosen. Khemrian War Sphinx doing a pretty good job as well. And we get some pretty good damage right there, running over most of those Chosen. And for the first time in the battle, they're actually shaken by the mighty Chariots. And now I just have my Bone Giant shooting at Archaon, another Spirit Leech going down. And the 2 Tomb Princes, I actually lost one. So they got trapped amongst the Chosen with Halberds. And they are just getting the business right now. So I'm going to have to retreat because these Chosen are just taking them to town, despite the fact that I have the Libra Mortis. And I also did leave Ark in there, which was a little bit sloppy. I thought I had some skeletons, but I suppose they crumbled. But the Chariots are coming to the rescue. They charge in, a very limp charge, but it still is able to push back a bunch of those Chosen, who I'm sure have pretty good mass. So maybe that's why they don't go flying as much as other infantry. But the Chosen are wavering, and they're broken, finally. And Archaon, still on the hunt. He's almost able to kill my Khemrian War Sphinx. So despite the fact that I was able to kill my opponent's 2 Shaggoths so early in the game, he's still able to do a ton of heavy lifting with Archaon. So I think if he had been a little bit more cautious with him, it could have been a different game. And you can see the Bone Giant there. He's able to pop Archaon, and he is going to go down due to army losses. But man, I'm beat up. Like, everything on my army is almost dead except the Bone Giant. So well played to my opponent. I think just a couple tactical errors in the beginning with those 2 Shaggoths really cost him. If he had just kept them on top of the Halberds, advanced, been really patient whenever the Chariots come in with just attack with Shaggoths, but don't overextend. Just keep them with your infantry formation. I think that would have been a much safer game. But again, Shaggoths are a very powerful unit, and I've made that mistake on countless measures, times where I'm just thinking like, hey, the Shaggoths are just beasts. They can take these stupid Tomb Princes. Look how much smaller they are. But the Tomb Princes are actually really strong, especially with Arcane, Libra Mortis, and Spirit Leech. So yeah, very well played to my opponent. Axiom01, look forward to running into again on ladder, and hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing Arkan Ek in action. Have an excellent night, guys, and take care.